Let me tell you, Tidehunter. Tidehunter is the best 3 you could possibly pick right now in Dota 7.34. In Dota 7.3 whatever, Tidehunter should be your go-to pick for offlane. There is no worse feeling than seeing your offlane last pick Slardar, Nightstalker, Wind Ranger, Legion, Bounty Hunter, any of these heroes, because you'll just lose the game, and you know it. Your offlaner needs to be a manly Giga Chad, and there are really only 3 of these in the current meta. I would say those are Axe, Magnus, and Tidehunter, and this hero clearly stands above the rest. Tidehunter has 2 of the best offlaner spells in the game, Ravage and Dead in the Water. In patch 7.34, Tidehunter got a new shard that has seemed to fly completely under the radar. It is a non-dispellable leash for up to 10 seconds. You know what that means? Does the enemy mid have any sort of movement getaway spell? Now they don't, because you just hit them with Dead in the Water and they're leashed for 10 seconds. They can't do anything about it.
Oh my god, what the f—
Now, given that it's an Ag Shard, you have to get it after 15 minutes at the earliest, leaving the early game to be dictated by Ravage and some of your other spells, but we'll get to that later. The spell is also great at making space for Tidehunter to get away, because if they're chasing you, a lot of times heroes will forget to unleash themselves, letting you walk away much faster than they can run at their measly 100 movement speed. Now, with Dead in the Water, Tide can initiate while Ravage is on cooldown, or even initiate without sacrificing Ravage, and still securing at least 1 kill in a team fight. Ravage! Let me tell you about Ravage. Ravage is the best offlaner spell in the game. Being able to blink stun an entire enemy team for up to 2 seconds is one of the greatest things that Position 3 can do. While Ravage is not spell immunity piercing, Ravage becomes extremely broken in the late game due to an amazing item called the Refresher Orb. This allows Tide to get off 2 late game Ravages with proper mana management, stunning their foes for up to 6 seconds. This also means that, more likely than not, you won't be able to use many other spells in your fight, but I think your team would rather have a 6-second stun than any other spell offered by a 3. Tide's other spells help for laning in the general mid-game, but the only ones that will win you every game are Ravage and the new spell Dead in the Water. Keep in mind that you are the 3, and if you're Tidehunter, you dictate your game's pace. You need to be ganking or fighting almost every time your ult is off cooldown. Once you get that Blink, Boots, and Ag Shard, your build is essentially complete, unless you decide to extend your build into Shiva's Guard Refresher Orb, as I recommend, or something else that gives you a substantial int boost. That way you can have your Refresher Orb. So what is the build? You're going to start off with your typical items, get your Quelling Blade, Ring of Health, and Boots as quickly as possible. Then you're going to move into Blink Dagger, Ag Shard, once you've gone past minute 15. Shiva's Guard and Scythe of Vice are both great items to give you int and value in teamfighting, and then from there you'll finish off the build with your Refresher Orb. Other items that I recommend going, depending on how your game is going, is Soul Ring, Pipe, Lotus Orb, and then 2 others, Ag's Scepter, and Heaven's Halberd. Tidehunter cannot outfarm a carry, and neither can your supports. With this in mind, try to partner with your mid and see who you can find on enemy jungles or attacking your tier 1 towers. When playing from behind, it is important not to force these fights. Sometimes having the best ult in the game can make you overextend and regret your life decisions. Use your judgment when determining to fight, and if you have no one else on your team to help deal damage after Ravage, you gotta back off. I'm tired of seeing my solo queued offlaners picking Wraith King, Earthshaker, or any other hero that isn't Tidehunter. There might be some exclusions, but this hero is the 3 meta right now. If he's unbanned and available to pick in any of your games, I need you to pick him. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.